What's going on, fellow explorers? Architecture Unknown here. We're here with the majestic Patrick as my co-star.
Hello.
And today is going to be the first video of a video part series called the How to Urbex series. So basically, this series can consist of a couple parts. This one's going to be how to find a location. We're also going to be doing essential gear and stuff like that later to come.
So basically in this video, we're just going to go over how to find abandoned buildings. There's three main ways you could go about doing that. The first is just using the internet. The second would be driving around and just going out finding it yourself. And the third would be to join a group or ask a friend who might be in the urbex scene.
So, when using the internet, the best way to first start out would probably be to use Google. Specifically type in like abandoned buildings in so-and-so area. That's how we first started out in our locations. We also knew a couple in our area, which kind of helped a bit. But if you're just starting out brand new, I'd say Google is probably the best way to do it.
However, one of the main issues with using Google to find an abandoned building is these tend to be heavy trafficked areas, so they tend to be a bit run down, beat down, more for an abandoned building. So they're not going to be the best places to go to, but they're going to be good places to start at.
So after you're done using Google, I would say switch over to YouTube. The reason is because you're going to get a lot more hits. So basically just type in abandoned buildings in so-and-so area, and they're going to pop up on the search bar. Now, the only problem with this is you're going to have to research the addresses yourself. Once you actually run out of YouTube ideas, you're going to have to do this anyway. So it's probably best to get used to it now rather than later.
An important thing to research on Google when you're trying to find an abandoned building would be to see if the building is even still there or if it's even accessible at the very least. You should look at what the police activity is around there to make sure that you're not going to get busted when you get there, and also to make sure that the building is even still there to begin with, because a lot of times we've ran into buildings that have been renovated or are currently under construction and was just a total bust.
So once YouTube and Google provide no help of you anymore, the next step would probably be going just driving around your local area and just trying to find things on your own. Kind of more easier said than done, but if you know what you're looking for, it makes things a lot easier.
Now when you're driving around trying to find an abandoned building, there are a few key features to look for that will make it just a lot easier to find abandoned buildings wherever, and you'll be surprised how many you will find. One of the first things to look for is just how the property is kept. Does the property look like it's like the lawn isn't being kept well, or just the house is starting to fall apart? Then that can be a sign that this house may be abandoned.
A couple other things to look out for would be boarded up broken windows and graffiti. Now, a disclaimer, just because you find these things doesn't necessarily mean it's abandoned. It could just mean that the owner sucks at, maintaining his property.
Now, if you do find one of these houses or buildings that you're unsure if it is occupied or not, something you can do is just simply walking up to the door, knocking on it, and seeing if anyone answers. Obviously, it's still not going to be a guarantee. It's going to be one step forward into finding out if it is abandoned or not.
So I guess a couple good geographical areas that you could find these buildings would be in rundown towns or even just rural farm areas, because you'd be surprised how many farm houses are actually abandoned.
Now, the third and final step is to join a local urbex group. This might be the most difficult step, but it will yield the best benefits.
The best way to get into a group is to actually start out one. My suggestion would be get with a bunch of friends and then show them a video and see if they're interested. And if they are, then boom, there you go.
Now, another good place to try is going on Facebook. Facebook has a lot of great groups on there for urbexing, and you can find a lot of places in your local area there too.
The second best beneficial social media that would probably help you is Instagram. However, this might be a little bit harder to get into because nobody knows you. Quick tip, I would say if you're gonna do that, make a urbex Instagram, and once you start taking photos of places, start posting them on there. That way, once you get better explorations and stuff like that, it would basically give you more credit.
Now, another good social media site to use would be Reddit. Reddit has a lot of great people on there that know what they're talking about and know a lot of great locations on there. If you're out of ideas or you don't know what to look for, you could just ask people on certain subreddits on there and they'd be willing to lend a hand to help you out.
Alrighty guys, well this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this and more explorations to come. I actually have a couple surprises coming up. Like I said, we have this abandoned how-to series that's going on. We also are going to be starting a Weird New Jersey series very, very soon. So be on the lookout for that. So with that being said, I'm signing out. Architecture Unknown and Pat. See you in the next one.